Good morning, one and all. It's so wonderful to see your beautiful, shining faces. You guys have brought the sunshine with you. We're going to start with one of my nerdiest favorite songs by Olivia Newton-John. Come take my hand. You should know me. I've always been in your mind. You know I will be kind. I'll be guiding you. Building your dreams has to start now. There's no other road to take. You won't make a mistake. I'll be guiding you. You have to believe we are magic. Nothing can stand in our way. You have to believe we are magic. Don't let your aim ever stray. And if our hopes survive, destiny will arrive. I'll bring all your dreams alive for you. I'll bring all your dreams alive for you. From where I stand, you are home free. The planets align so rare. There's promise in the air, and I'm guiding you through every turn. I'll be near you. I'll come anytime you call. I catch you when you fall, and I'm guiding you. You have to believe we are magic. Nothing can stand in our way. You have to believe we are magic. Don't let your aim ever stray. And if all your hopes survive, destiny will arrive. I'll bring all your dreams alive for you. You have to believe we are magic. Nothing can stand in our way. You have to believe we are magic. Don't let your aim ever stray. And if all your hopes survive, destiny will arrive. I'll bring all your dreams alive for you. I'll bring all your dreams alive for you. Oh, what nice people you are. This is a song that the next one here is one we played about 8 months ago, and I'm sorry for the repetition, but I've actually had a couple requests for it over the past few weeks. So we thought we'd throw it in, Rochelle and a few others who I'm not going to name check, but I'm going to tell you the story behind this song. If you were here 8 months ago, forgive the repetition, but it's actually inspired by our buddy Dave over there. And this story, he gave me permission to share. He was at a protest last fall here in Grants Pass, and he had his sign. And some fundamentalist types came over and started giving him the business about it, and ultimately escalated it by calling him a Satanist. To which my man replied, come on, Dave, shout it out. So the song kind of comes from Dave's experience there. The words, you see them up on the screen, feel free to sing along. Here's the part where we all sing together. There's not a spot where God is not. 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 In the people that protest on a crowded city street, and the people calling names and the cops out on the beat, the homeless and the wealthy and the people of the town, all are part of spirit that spreads the light around. 'Cause there's not a spot where God is not. 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 In the moon and the sun and the sky and the sea, in a dog and a cat, inside of you, inside of me, I have noticed there's something kind of odd. If you spell dog backwards, it spells God. 'Cause there's not a spot where God is not. 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 At the city by the bay, where the pagans sport and play, in temples, mosques and synagogues, every single day, in a crowded traffic jam and the ringing of church bells, in the words of Reverend Steve. Wait, let's back up that line. In the words of Jamaica at the Grand Pass CSL, there's not a spot where God is not. There's not a spot where God is not. There's not a spot where God is not. There's not a spot where God is not.
Thank you. Hello? Yeah. Okay. Let's hear it for George and Anwin again. Good morning, everyone. I am Deborah Perdue, a practitioner here, and I'm glad to welcome everyone. I love to look out and see all your smiling, shiny faces. Thank you for choosing this to be your spiritual destination this morning. Rev Steve is at Asilomar this week. I know he's having a great time there and will come back extra inspired and supercharged. Jamica Wallace, a fellow practitioner, will be speaking today, and she always does a magnificent job. We are blessed to have her this morning and blessed to all be together. Let's say our vision statement together. We are an open, loving, spiritual community dedicated to evolving consciousness through teaching spiritual principles. Now it's time for our announcements. One announcement is that there's a card for Jeanette, our 103-year-old centenarian. It's in the back, and she's healing from a fall, and she is healing. She should be back pretty soon here. But please go ahead and sign it in the meantime to let her know we're all thinking of her with love. And then Rev Steve has written a book called Private Lessons. It's out now. I guess he didn't show it yet, but he will soon. And if you're interested in purchasing it or hearing more about it, go ahead and sign up on the sheet that he left out there on the back table. Now, this is a little embarrassing because it's about me. On Sunday, August 2nd, Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living will be celebrating my practitioner emeritus status. I'm not one yet, but on August 1st, I become a certified practitioner emeritus. And that means that I've been officially serving as a licensed practitioner for 20 years now. I hear there are some festivities planned, and I'm truly so honored. This has been my spiritual home for 13 years, and I love it here, and I love you all. And I hope you'll attend next week, too. On Thursday, August 13th, from 6 to 7:30 p.m., Bucky Dennerlin, another of our wonderful practitioners, will lead our next summertime spirit gathering. You're all invited to attend, and it will be held in the LEC building on a love offering basis. We will use the theme from the August Science of Mind magazine to talk about and come deep in your spiritual practice, connect with kindred spirits, and enjoy an uplifting summer evening together. Every Sunday we have our meditation time from 10:50 to 11:05 a.m. This is held in the LEC building and is led by our practitioners. And so, since I've said so much about practitioners, I did want to say that if you're new and want to know more about what a practitioner is and does, there's a gold sheet in the seat back in front of you that you can read. Or if you've never looked at it, look at it. That's it for these kind of announcements, and I have a few more. Flowers are from Claire Green. Let's thank her. Please remember to silence your cell phones if you haven't already. And is there anyone here for the very first time? If so, please raise your hand. We have a welcome packet for you. Oh, everybody's already been here. So let's see. So let's greet our neighbors for just a minute or two, very shortly, and then we'll hold hands and sing "We Are One."
All right, if we could all join hands with the person next to you, we're going to sing together. We are one, we are one. I am you, you are me, we are one. And in this unity we shall live in harmony as peace has come. As we are one. One more time, folks. We are one. We are one. I am you, you are me, we are one. And in this unity we shall live in harmony as peace has come, as we are one.
Okay, I made it. So who brought we said Claire brought the flowers today. Thank you so much, Claire. And did you already ask about if anyone is here for the first time? Perfect. Okay. Things change a little bit up here, and sometimes we don't know it until we're up here. So it's called flexibility. Welcome to the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Janet Moray, and I'm one of the practitioners here. And as the podium practitioner, I am honored to serve. Please join me in reading the gratitude on the screen. How thankful I am to be a part of a movement that helps create a world that works for everyone and all of creation. Our table practitioner today is Bucky. She's holding the high wash for us. And it's her honor to hold us in prayer for after the service. If you wish, let her know. And she will find a practitioner who is available. And is the practitioners that are here available? Raise your hand so you can do prayers after. Nice. Okay. You'll find a yellow request in the back of your seat in front of you. And that will be for and also for blue cards, which show the demonstrations in the seat of the back before you. And you can also submit a prayer request anytime at grantspasscsl.org. Please know that our practitioners lovingly pray each request we receive. So let's lead the prayer together. I create bridges wherever I go. We have all the tools necessary to build an inclusive, loving world. And so it is.
So it is.
So now we're going to sing I Am Loved, and you can stay seated to do that.
I am, I am, I am loved. I am, I am, I am loved. The love of God is in my life. I am loved.
Very nice, very nice. So this whole month we've been talking about wholeness. So I have a couple of short comments that Ernest Holmes wrote that just kind of hit home with me today, and I thought I would share them with you. There's a saying common in religious science community: there is nothing to heal, only truth to reveal. Reflecting the teachings of Ernest Holmes in his book, The Science of Mind, Holmes maintains that perfect health comes from aligning ourselves with spirit, recognizing our wholeness, oneness, and unification with the divine. We are not separate from, but are one with divine source. This healing energy manifests when thought is aligned with truth and held with conviction. He goes on to say in the, pardon me? Get over here. That's easier for you to say. Okay. Always expect more goodness. Always, always expect more goodness. Expectancy speeds progress. Therefore, live in a continual state of expectancy. No matter how much good you are experiencing today, expect greater and more good tomorrow. Try this magic of expectancy, and you will soon discover a dramatic side to your work that gives full vent to constructive feeling. And this is from Ernest Holmes in Creative Science of Mind. So I'm going to have you take a few minutes to just close your eyes if you wish, or take a gaze on the flowers. And we're just going to quiet our minds, go into a little meditation. And calling you back into the room with love and peace and joy and expectancy in your heart. We will continue and have some special music. And that's it. And then we're going to have a talk from Jamaica. As Reverend Steve is at Selimar this week, which you heard. So, thank you all.
The piece I've prepared for you guys today is a Spanish piece called Aragonese, or Dance of Aragon. And it's not really that meditative of a piece, so you might be thinking, well, what's this doing here? We live out in O'Brien, and a week ago today we had a fire break out literally around the corner, like a 2-minute bicycle ride, which blew up to 30 acres, and we had to do the whole evacuation thing. Fortunately, they got it. Why am I saying all this? Well, this time of year, it's very easy to be like, fire, grrr. But I'm trying to change the energy of my relationship to that, maybe practice gratitude for it. So this song maybe kind of has that in mind, a little tribute to the fire spirit out there. This gratitude for all the good things that energy brings, like deliciously prepared food and warm houses in the winter and all that. So.
That was amazing, so beautiful. Just another hand for them. That was so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. Can you believe we are here at the end of July already? This is crazy how fast it flew by, isn't it? Oh, well, I brought a little something to assist us with visualizing today. Who here likes puzzles? You guys like puzzles? Yeah? Yeah? Have you ever put a puzzle together and then find out you're missing pieces? It's a little bit frustrating, isn't it? I actually like puzzles a lot, but if this was all you had, back of this box, what does this story tell you? Anything about the puzzle? No, but your mind can start filling in blanks. You've done puzzles. You might automatically start kind of thinking of maybe the last one you did, right? Would you think that it was beautiful? Would you be willing to go buy that off the shelf? Probably not, huh? Would you be willing to even attempt to put this together? Or maybe not, right? Probably not. Right? I mean, not too bad, right? So what if I gave you some information, though? What if I tell you that this is a beautiful puzzle? It's a prince. He's wooing his princess. And they're in a beautiful scene in the ballroom, and they're both elegantly dressed. You guys got a picture now? You got an idea of what this is, what puzzle we're putting together? Yeah? Is that what you imagined? Anybody? Not at all, huh? But what changed? Did the puzzle change? Did you change? Just our perspective changed. We flipped the box around. That's all, right? So this month, our theme is whole no matter what. And this week, up there, the question is, how do we create a world that works for everyone and all of creation? And that's a pretty big question. I don't think that it begins by changing the whole world. I think it begins much closer to home. It begins with how we choose to see one another. Because if we're honest, we're all really good at making up stories. Oh, I know exactly what they're like. They're one of those people. You know those people? They're one of them. Our brains are incredible. They're consistently organizing information, looking for different patterns and different ways to keep us safe. But the problem is people are not categories. We are stories. We are experiences. And we are sacred expressions of the divine. One opinion, one interaction, and one first impression is nowhere near enough to tell an entire story. This was something I'm grateful I learned pretty early on, actually, in middle school. I grew up in a neighborhood where you learned pretty quickly how to survive. It was a lot of fear-based energy where I grew up. And even just to make it through school, you really had to learn to put on a mask. You had to look tough. And, you know, even if you were just a scared little kid, you had to put on that mask and be tough. And so without realizing it, I created an image for myself. And so did everybody else around us. We all did. And there was this one girl that I went to school with that I was absolutely convinced was the meanest girl on the planet, and she was out to kill me, and that I had to avoid her at all cost. And I did pretty well at school. And then one thing happened one day. We had this little video game arcade at the pizza place, the local hangout spot, and kids would go in there and play video games. And so one weekend, I had popped in there, and guess who's standing there at my favorite video game? She's standing there, and she's seen me walk up, so I couldn't even turn around and run like I wanted to, believe me, but I couldn't, so I had to stand my ground. I had to stand there and watch her play her video game. But something really amazing happened when I stood there. We started chatting. We found some common ground. We both had the high score on Miss Pac-Man, our favorite video game, by the way. So it turned out that she didn't want to fight me. It turned out she was actually afraid of me. She thought that I was this big mean girl that was out to kill her and going to fight her. So she was trying to avoid me at all cost. So what was interesting, though, is that we were both just protecting ourselves from a story. It was just a story. And the thing about storytelling is fear is a terrible storyteller. It'll fill in blanks. It'll assume motives. It writes ending to the story before we even begin. And it didn't help that we had the other people adding to our story. You know the ones. You know them. That would tell us, you better watch out. Oh, she's out to get you. You know what I heard she said. But curiosity is what interrupted that story. And because of that, her and I are now celebrating 40 years of friendship this year. Right? It's pretty amazing. And I often wonder what would have happened if I would have just stuck to those assumptions. Because back then, that's all I could see. It's the back of the box. But curiosity is what flipped the box open and allowed me to see the bigger picture for both of us. So looking back, now I can see something. We talked earlier at the beginning of this month about Dr. Richard Schwartz's Eternal Family Systems. It's something I really love. And one of the things I appreciate the most about that work is the understanding that we all have these protective parts of ourselves. Parts that are trying to keep us safe and parts that are assume the worst because they just don't want us to get hurt again. And looking back, I can see that it wasn't the truer selves of either one of us, but it was those frightened protectors. Neither one of us were seeing each other's true self. So I wonder, how often do we do that today? Do we still do that? How often do we mistake someone's armor for their heart? Personally, I don't think that curiosity is just a nice quality to have. I think it's one of the most spiritual practices we can cultivate. In fact, I do personally think curiosity is a superpower. Personally, I used to think that the opposite of judgment was acceptance. And now I believe the opposite of judgment is curiosity. Because curiosity asks, tell me more. Help me understand. What happened that shaped the way you see the world? What don't I know yet? One of our affirmations this month says, I create bridges wherever I go. I love that because bridges don't erase differences. They don't ask both sides to become the same. A bridge simply creates a way to meet. What if creating the world that works for everybody isn't about convincing everyone to agree with us? What if it's about becoming the kind of people who know how to stay connected even when we don't agree? Love has never required sameness. Love simply asks us to remain open. So, I'd like to invite you guys to do a little experiment with me today. If it feels comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes for a moment. Take a slow breath. Allow your shoulders to soften. And I invite you to bring into your mind, quietly, somebody that you have created a story about. Just the first person that pops in. Don't try to change them. Don't try to fix them. Just take a moment to notice the story that you've been creating. And then gently ask yourself, what don't I know yet? What joy have they known? What heartbreak have they survived? Who taught them what was safe? Who taught them what to fear? Now, after each statement, just simply silently say, just like me. This person wants to be loved just like me. This person wants to belong, just like me. This person is doing the very best they can with the awareness they have today, just like me. I invite you to take one more slow breath and slowly open your eyes. Personally, I believe that that's how we begin to build bridges. Not because somebody else changed, but because something within us softens. So when I was reflecting on this message, I realized that changing the world really does sound overwhelming. Most of us hear a question like, how do we create a world that works for everyone? And our minds immediately go to governments, politics, world events, or systems that seem bigger than us. But Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science Mind, spent his life reminding us that every transformation begins in consciousness. He believed we aren't victims of the past, but we have the power to begin in every moment. He wrote, "If we break the sequence and initiate a new chain of causation, the same power that brought bondage will bring freedom." I love that, because Holmes is reminding us that we don't have to keep passing down the same old stories and the same old fears, the same divisions. Someone has to choose differently. Why not us? We can do this. Every conversation can begin a new chain. Every act of kindness and every moment of curiosity can begin a new chain. Maybe changing the world isn't about convincing millions of people. Maybe it's about interrupting one old story with one new possibility. One of the contemporary teachers who speaks beautifully about this is Adrienne Marie Brown. She's a writer, activist, and facilitator whose work explores how small, everyday choices shape the larger culture we live in. And she writes, "We create the patterns of our society through our choices, beliefs, and practices." That sounds a lot like Science of Mind to me. Holmes said consciousness creates experience. Adrienne reminds us that our daily relationships create culture. Different words, but the same truth. Sometimes we think changing the world requires something extraordinary, starting a big movement, changing thousands of lives, doing something people will remember. But maybe changing the world is much smaller. Maybe it's something as simple as just learning the cashier at the grocery store's name, or taking a pause when we ask how somebody's doing and really listening to what the answer is. Maybe it's about asking just one more question instead of one more assumption. Because every interaction is teaching people about this world. And when someone leaves a conversation with you, are they feeling judged or are they feeling valued? Did they leave feeling like they belonged, or did they leave feeling like they had to defend who they are? Those little moments matter. Those little moments are how the world changes, one relationship at a time. And I also came across something written by Rabbi Yael Levy, a contemporary Jewish rabbi and meditation teacher. She offers a practice she calls praying with the news. Sound familiar? I smiled and instantly heard of Rev Steve and heard him. The news is simply a prayer request. And if we're honest, there's not a shortage of prayer requests out there. Before we even get our morning coffee, there's opportunity to get angry, to get outraged. There's opportunity to be divided. But the rabbi offers another way. She suggests whenever we encounter a story that breaks our heart or fills us with anger, we pause, we pray. Not to ignore suffering, but to remember the humanity of everyone involved. It doesn't make us passive, but it makes us present. Prayer keeps our heart open. And I don't know about you, but personally, once my heart closes, I really do. I stop seeing people. I see opinions, I see labels, and I see sides. I see the back of the puzzle box. But prayer flips that around, and it asks questions like, instead of asking questions like, who is wrong, we can ask questions like, where is love being called? Instead of asking things like, who can I blame, we can ask, how can I bless? Prayer doesn't remove us from the world, but it changes the way that we show up in it. And another voice that touched me was Prentice Hempfield, a somatic teacher and writer who reminds us that healing isn't only personal, it happens in relationship. They offer one of the most beautiful definitions of boundaries I've ever heard. Boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and me simultaneously. I like that one. I really had to sit with that for a while. It really resonated for me. Because for a lot of years, I thought that being loving meant saying yes to everything. Every request, any favor. I wanted to make sure everybody else was comfortable. Anybody else try that? Yeah. How's that working out? Yeah. Eventually, I realized that exhausted is not one of the fruits of the Spirit. Healthy boundaries are not walls, but they're guardrails. If we think about a bridge, every safe bridge has guardrails. They're not there to stop people from crossing, but they are there so that people can cross safely. They're there for protection. Sometimes the most loving word that we can say is yes, but sometimes the most loving word we can say is no. And both are beautiful expressions of love. And while we're talking about relationships, I'm going to let everybody in on a little secret here. At some point, each and every one of us have been the difficult person in somebody else's story. I know, right? No! It's hard to believe, but it's true. We've all misunderstood someone, and we've all been misunderstood. We all wish that we could have one conversation back. But that is why accountability really does matter. And Adrienne Marie Brown reminds us that accountability is contagious. That when one person is willing to own their impact, it gives everyone else permission to do the same. Sometimes the most healing words we'll ever say are, I'm sorry. I didn't realize how that landed. Or simply, help me understand. Those words don't make us weak, but they make us teachable. And they tell another person, our relationship matters more than my need to be right. Can you imagine what our families would look like if we stopped and asked that question more? What our communities and our world would look like? Help me understand. I think that could be a bridge. So this puzzle, I've been thinking about this puzzle all week long. Not because I was afraid I was going to forget it, but just because even the back, it's not wrong. It has a place. It's just incomplete. And so, how often do we make a permanent decision based on that partial information? How often do we mistake one chapter for the entire story? Science of Mind teaches us that wholeness isn't something we create. It's something we awaken to. The divine isn't deciding who belongs. Life already made that decision. You're here. You made it. So. Look at these pieces. Each of these pieces is different. Different shape, different color, different edges. They might go together kind of quickly. Some it might take us a little longer if we figure out where they connect, right? But isn't that just like us as people? None of these pieces, though, are in this box trying to be another piece. This box is not worried that it's not a corner piece. This box is not worried that this piece doesn't have enough purple in it. They're simply being exactly what they're created to be. And because of that, we get the beautiful full picture with each piece. These pieces have absolutely no idea what the finished product looks like, but it only knows where that eventually it's going to fit. And maybe that is true for all of us. We spend so much time trying to figure out the whole world. Why is the world like this? Why did that happen? Why are they like that? But maybe our job isn't to see the whole picture. Maybe our job is just to become the piece that we were created to be. To bring our full color, our full gifts, our compassion, our courage, and to trust that Spirit sees the picture. I don't have to understand every piece to honor its place in the picture, and I don't have to agree with every piece to believe it belongs. I don't have to know the whole story to choose love. So in conclusion, this week I'd like to invite you into simple practice. When you catch yourself writing a story about someone, pause, take a breath, and ask one question. What don't I know yet? If the news begins to feel heavy, remember what the Rabbi and Rev's practices are. The news is simply a prayer request. Before reacting, pray. Before assuming, bless. Before hardening, love. Because every prayer keeps our hearts open. Every act of curiosity builds another bridge. Every healthy boundary protects that bridge. Every apology strengthens that bridge. And that's how the world changes. Not all at once, but one relationship, one conversation, and one bridge at a time. Now, we began this morning, I showed you the back of the box. I want to end leaving you with the front of the box. Because this is how Spirit has always seen us. Whole, complete, beautiful. Even when we couldn't see it for ourselves. So before you decide you know someone's story, before fear writes another chapter, simply turn the box around. You may discover a friendship waiting to happen. You may discover someone's been trying to understand you too. You might just discover that the worlds you've been praying for begins with the way we choose to see one another. Because every piece belongs, every story matters, every person has a place. And together we create a world that works for everyone and all of creation. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I want to invite everyone. Let's follow our teaching and go inward into prayer. I invite you to just simply become still, take a slow, deep breath. And remember, I know there is only one life, one infinite presence, one divine love expressing itself through all of creation. That life is whole, it is complete, it is forever expressing itself as peace, compassion, and love. And because there is only one life, I know that same divine presence lives fully within each of us. I know that today we awaken to see one another with new eyes. I know that where fear once created stories, love reveals understanding. Where judgment has created distance, compassion builds bridges. And where separation seemed real, we remember our unity. I know that each of us leaves today with hearts that are more open, minds that are more curious, and a deeper willingness to honor the sacred worth of every person we meet. I know that we become living expressions of a world that values all of who we are, one conversation, one relationship, one act of love at a time. And with grateful hearts, I give thanks. I give thanks for this community, and I give thanks for every heart that is willing to keep growing. I give thanks for the love that is already transforming our lives and our world. Knowing that the law always responds to the word spoken, I release this prayer with complete trust, knowing it is already done. And we can affirm this together by saying, and so it is. Thank you. Okay. And I think we're ready to move into our prosperity affirmation. So if you would like to take your offering and place it on your heart and repeat the affirmation with me. Abundance is everywhere and in everything. I share my abundance generously with this center, which gives so much to me and all of us. So speak a word of blessings here. Just want to speak my word. I know that these are expressions of our limitless potential, and they ripple out into our community, blessing both the giver and the receiver, and allowing the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living doors to be open as a sanctuary for those that are remembering who they are. And for that, we are all so very blessed. And so it is. We have one more special song.
Well, we all know the peace song, so feel free to stand up. The words are on the screen if we want to join hands and sing that together. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Okay, our benediction. Repeat after me. Something sacred is awakening within me.
Something sacred is awakening within me.
It flows through my thoughts.
It flows through my thoughts.
It breathes through my body.
It breathes through my body.
It blossoms in my life.
Blossoms in my life.
I welcome it.
I welcome it.
I trust it.
I trust it.
I am whole, complete, and free.
I am whole, complete, and free.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
See you next week. Thank you, everyone.